Hi everyone, this is the second video out of the Module 15 AEP 800 class. These are the 5 technologies. This will be the second technology. My name is Sam Ameline, and the second tech, or the second web-based tool that I chose was Google Translate. Google, of course, has tons of different free things that you can use in your classroom or maybe in a different setting, but this is one tool that I have used personally, and it helped me out a lot at one of the schools that I taught at. Google Translate is just like it sounds. Many people do use it, so you guys might be familiar with it, but it takes any text that you have and it translates it pretty well. From experience, from a lot of second language learners that I've dealt with, they've received a lot of these translations pretty well. So the reason why I bring up Google Translate is because it's a great tool to use if you have a lot of digital files that you use in your classroom, like worksheets and things like that. It's really nice because you can actually copy and paste a lot of your stuff over into here. And so if you have that worksheet, if you have that activity, and you have someone that does not know English, maybe it's not just Spanish, but I've dealt mostly with Spanish. If they really only speak in Spanish and you're still trying to get over that language barrier, and yes, you'd like them to do it in English, but they just can't, they have to learn. So this I found is a great tool to use. Why I selected this resource, pretty straightforward. There's some kids in my class, it's about 2 years ago, that just did not have a grasp of the English language, and they were sitting in my class, and they were for me to teach. They were there for me to teach, so had to reach them some way. So I think this was a great tool to use to reach them in their own language that they understood, that they're comfortable with, and it helped me, kind of introduce some English too, because I could give them a copy of both the English and Spanish text once I did this. My goals for this, my goals for using this was to integrate more diverse or integrate language that my students can understand. My goal was to improve the learning of some of my students that did not understand or fully grasp English. My intended audience for this would definitely be my students, but this tool goes well beyond the classroom. I mean, in any translation, in any form. I mean, you could pick this up on your phone. You could use it on any device that has internet access, and so you could take it with you anywhere you go. So really, I mean, Google is helping people get over language barriers and communication, things like that. So it's a really, really cool thing. And it's really cool how accurate it actually is. I think that's one of the main things, because I mean, translation websites have been around since 2000s, but I think accuracy has always been a concern. The IST standards that we go through with Google Translate, IST EA 2.C and TCK number 1, both standards hit in this area. So using Google Translate, step-by-steps are really simple. You just take any text and you put it into this left-hand box. If you want, I mean, you could actually put the text, I mean, any type of text in here, and it will translate it on the other box, whatever you pick. So I have English chosen, and I have Spanish chosen on the other side. So I could type anything like, hello, my name is Sam, and hola, mi nombre es Sam. So it translated that simple, but of course, for the purpose that I use it for, I have a lot of my digital files for my assessments, my worksheets, and things like that. So up here on the screen is a typical worksheet that I'll do, a primary source in my history class, analyzing a political cartoon, has a picture, gives them a background, the students, and then they have questions. So I believe I have copy and pasted a couple of the questions, and what I'd usually do is just copy and paste the whole thing. But if I copy and paste the whole thing, I'll have to trim it down a little bit. And for our video purposes, I'm not just gonna waste the whole video trimming it down. But just looking at it right here, I have 3 of the questions printed out or copy and pasted. And once I copy paste, right click on this left box, it shows up in Spanish on the right. And so what I can do from here, I can look at this stuff, I can copy and paste all of this, and then open up a Word document, Google Docs, and paste it on that, and then print it out for that student. Okay, so of course, you having a printer or maybe being able to send things to a copier is really nice, and having things ahead of time planned out when you know that that student's going to be in your class. Those are all needed. But if you have a good grasp on what you're doing, if you have a good grasp on, when the kids are coming in, you could really get any resource that you have digitally into Google Translate, and you could translate it for your students that are struggling with English. And I mean, it doesn't just do Spanish. I mean, we got Arabic, and look at all these different languages. Hindi. I mean, some that I've never even been exposed to. So Russian. I mean, really, really cool resource. For me, I've really only used Spanish. I've only dealt with English language learners from Puerto Rico. We had a lot of kids in the Youngstown area that families were from Puerto Rico and things like that. So a lot of Spanish needed. And it was great, like I said before, because you could use this and also give them the English, so they're not using the Spanish version as crutches. Hopefully they can pick words out, associate with the words they know, and maybe learn something, so maybe they don't have to have these translations all the time. So Google Translate, just you can Google the word translate and it comes up. You can type that into your browser. Great tool for any type of translation, and really great if you have already your resources online.